Okay, I'm behind the desk right now with Alex Babakhanov. This is very, very exciting. We met exactly 12 years ago, I'd say, on a May Shabbaton, the first Shabbaton ever in Passaic, New Jersey. Alex was a St. John's or LIU student? LIU student. It was a big Shabbaton, 90 people, 2 coach buses coming to Passaic. It was like sort of my wife and I's Emet tryout. And that was it. We never looked back. It's been, you know, it's really been an amazing 12 years. And Alex, you've really been with us for the whole time.
Been with you guys since day one.
You really have. Okay, what I like to say before we start with Alex is we need to thank some people. Because at Emet, everyone's been, you know, we need to thank someone. First of all, we need to thank all our amazing donors. We are approaching the 800,000 mark. I think at about, once we get to 700,000, we have to start dancing. That's going to be great. Yesterday, if anyone was watching, and I know a lot of people were watching, we had an amazing version of HQ, whatever that is, but we had our version with EQ, with Johnny Solomonov, and we had a lot of sponsors. So first and foremost, before I thank all the sponsors, I want to thank one of the sponsors that's also been doing a lot. 2 of our students really are very involved with the restaurants called Gane Orly, the Israelov family. They are in a beautiful Rego Park. It's delicious food. And during the pandemic, when the restaurants could not be as open, they were very busy delivering food to hospitals, to first responders. And Eitan just told me that any first responder, any essential worker, or any Emet student that comes there once they open up again automatically gets 10% off. So thank you for the love, and thank you for being there for us. We also want to thank the Hotspot Barbecue and Grill, Cafe Muscat, Elite Cafe, BH Burgers & Co., Pizza Professor, Mama Schnitzel, Fortune, Smart RX, not small, Smart RX Pharmacy, Dream Baby Dreamers, Pristine Wigs, Upper Crust, Jerusalem Bagels, Ivy Butler, Direct Designs, Villas Accounting, and others that helped support our the cards for the EQ game. Thank you, and of course, thank you for our sponsors, Caring Professionals, RYS Drips, Leah. Thank you so much for our sponsors, for our donors, for our students, for our alumni, for everyone together that's making this possible for us to, Bezrat Hashem, make this campaign a reality, this dream a reality. Okay, now that we got that settled, I want to concentrate on our very own Alex Babakhanov. So Alex, what attracted you? This was 12 years ago. How old were you 12 years ago? 20? 2021. What attracted you to Emet, being in LIU?
Well, I think for a lot of us, myself included, so sorry. I will speak up in the mic, I apologize. For a lot of us, really, especially the ones of us who did not go to yeshiva, I myself did go to yeshiva for the primary years up until 4th grade, but... Up until 4th grade, you must have learned a lot. I learned how to read Hebrew. Thank God, but there was still so much that I missed out on in the high school, junior high school years, the middle school years. And I think one of the things that attracted myself to Emet was, you know, the word Emet, truth, that, you know, in the end of the day, our families have all come here to America to give us a better life. They worked very hard, 7 days a week, 6 days a week, and sometimes 8 days a week, to really make sure that we can have a better future. And I think especially now, it's our role and responsibility to, you know, really prolong that and move it forward. And Emet is one of the premier organizations within the community, especially that I'm involved with many people, much like myself, who are young professionals, business owners, you know, and people who not only donate because of guilt, but donate because of a passion for the cause. I know that yesterday there was many speakers, and one of which said that Emet is not just a cure of organization. Emet is a family. I know myself personally, I've known Rabbi Rutenberg from the beginning, and being part of one of the first learning sessions, the first Shabbatons, the first Passaic trip, there were so many things that Emet adds value to one's life, and structure and guidance, and really a path, you know, where you know, I have an 18-year-old brother, and you know, being kid. Thank you. and being the elder statesman now, and he's going through Emet now. He also went to public school, and he's going through the program now and getting an appreciation for Judaism, for the community, for the families, where, I can always call Rabbi Rutenberg and be like, hey, how's he doing? Where's the growth pattern? Where's the progress? Rabbi Kigel as well. I think the beautiful thing about Emet is, all the rabbis who've gone through Emet, all the students that have gone through Emet, they've built such relationships where I can always call Rabbi Rutenberg and be like, listen, me and my wife, we had this argument. What do you think? Can you be the mediator? And can you come and help, especially with his background and whatnot? And I think that's for all the students in Emet, where it's not just that they're here for you, they're actually here for you. Like 12 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. You call, he'll answer. You ask, he'll answer. And really, they don't have to do that. They don't have to take away from their family time to help us build our family time, And how many weddings over the years have been with Emet, where couples met while they were taking the Emet classes, and for most people it starts out the same. I want to go to Israel, but then they go through the classes and they're like, I remember Grandpa talking about this at the Shabbat table one point or another, or at the Pesach Seder and whatnot. And I think that it's our duty and it's our responsibility to continue, not only with our time for those of us that can't afford to donate, but also with our money for those of us that can. Because realistically speaking, there's always going to be people in this world that are financially going to be able to donate, but then there's also people in this world that need to donate with their time and with their energy. And, all the rabbis here, they have many children and they have yeshivas, and even still they find the time and the energy and the money in order to facilitate that aspect of their life and, be here for all of us as well. I think for, every year we do a fundraiser and we have a goal. And this year, because of coronavirus and because of the global pandemic, it was very challenging, and we had many conversations. And I'll say that one of the things that I really admire about the leadership of Emet is that they're very forward thinking. They're not of the mindset where I'm older, I know better. They will listen to the 18-year-old who comes into the program just as much as they'll listen to the 30 or 40-something-year-olds of us who have gone through the program and take our opinions to heart and ask us, what's the mindset of the masses? Even though they have those relationships themselves, they always want to know more on a deeper level, on a personal level, from somebody else's perspective, from somebody else's vantage point, and that's truly invaluable, especially when building an organization of this capacity. And I think that if not us, then who? I myself. I don't want my children to wake up 20 years from now or 30 years from now or 70 years from now and say, I'm a descendant of Baharian Jews. I want them to wake up and be proud and say, I am a Baharian Jew. It's just as important to be an American Jew, but it's also important to know where your ancestors came from, what were their customs, what were their cultures, to try to maintain it to the best of your ability and to really know who you are, because especially with technology and with the way that the world is going, if you don't know where you came from, you don't know who you are. So I think having two Ashkenazi rabbis starting an organization to help Baharian youth really know who they are, says something. And if they can feel so passionately about us, then we should as well.
That is very well said. You're like an Emet spokesperson. So, it's very clear from everyone I've been interviewing that got interviewed yesterday and whenever we talk to students, like Emet really comes off not as like this organization, but really as a family. And one of the things that we really enjoy about Emet is seeing people bond and become Emet friends. Do you have like people that you met when you were younger through Emet that you're like still friendly with today?
Oh yeah, plenty. I remember when we went on the first Pathways trip with Israel that was organized. And, everybody goes on birthright, and birthright is this, it's this, Israeli smack in the face of party, learn, culture, history,
and
and you have 2-3 hours of sleep if you're lucky, and and then after the trip you come back and you really have to reminisce on the 10-day experience that you had. But with Emet and with Pathways, the collaboration, we really had such a spiritual, uplifting experience, and it's just. It's next level. It's really next level, and it can't really be put into words. And I can say that from all of us that were on that trip and on many of the trips after that, Emet adds a certain flair to each trip, where you come back a different person. You're a little more self-aware, you're a little closer to Hashem, you're a little more confident, and really you build these relationships. I mean, a lot of the guys that I went with were also pharmacists, some from St. John's also, and we became some of the best friends. And it's about putting yourself out there. It's
so amazing. It's so beautiful to see. Just being a part of it. Like sometimes when you're in the inside, you can't see the outside. So it's great to hear what all you have to say. And it's just wonderful to see. Like Rabbi Kraft and Rabbi Rudenberg really set the matbeya. They set the cast for the Emet organization. And everyone who's joined us has really been able to. It's like natural. Like we were talking about with Yaniv. We're not trying to be a family. We're not trying to be Shem Shemaim. We're just being, and it's just, we feel like we have the greatest students, and it's such a privilege to work with everybody. And just, seeing your brother's like, what, 10, 11 years younger than you? So even
15
years younger than you, just seeing him and spending the last year with him, and seeing him on the Shabbatons and the Olami trip, and him and his friends growing and bonding, and just remembering that's how you were also. And it's beautiful. It's like you see a 12-year progression, and we hope it continues. And we are not planning on stopping with Hashem's help until Mashiach comes, or until everyone in Queens is themselves running a yeshiva. So
Amen.
I want to thank you very much. I want to thank you for your time, your support, and most importantly, your friendship. I wish I could give you the biggest hug right now, but we're going to do some sort of elbow bash because we're still in Corona and we're trying to social distance. And before we let you go, and then we switch to a little bit of beautiful music, if you can give one piece of advice for everyone watching today, and really for the youth, for the Queens youth, if you could give one piece of advice for them, what would you say?
One piece of advice that I would give would be, you can do anything that you want to do, and you can do anything that you put your mind on. And the specific thing that I'm talking about when I say that now is, for a lot of people, it's hard to donate. It's not easy. It's a muscle. You have to train it every day. Have a tzedakah box in your house and put at least a quarter, a penny, a nickel into it every day. Put it in every day. For those of us that have children, teach your child to put it in every day, because when you give, Hashem gives you 10 times more in return. And as hard as it may be to give that first cent, God willing, it'll add up and it'll accumulate, and in Hashem's books, it'll exponentially grow what you have down here. Because down here, what we have is only a fraction of what we can have up there. So if you train yourself with time to give a little by a little by a little, Bezrat Hashem, we can all be fighting one another to give the most.
So besides plugging for the major donation thing that we're doing right now.
No, I'm not even talking about...
You weren't talking about that. That's what I'm saying. You're not making a plug for that. I asked you, could you give one piece of advice? And you said, train yourself to give.
Correct.
Because when you become a giver, when you become a giver, that is when you're connecting to Hashem. That's when everything's flowing back to you.
Exactly.
And then when we see we have $700,000 with 1 hour left to get the next 100,000 with Hashem's help, and see all our students coming together at the last minute for us is so heartwarming. And we're really, besides creating, we're really fostering and enabling people to become givers. And thank you so much. It's a brilliant point. Hashem should continue to bless you and your entire family. And your children should grow up to be Talmidim Chachamim and marry Talmidim Chachamim.
Amen.